This is Part 2 Episode 107. After having entered the middle region, which was the center of the entire continent, the experts whom Xiao Yan had to face possessed terrifying strengths. Although he had currently broken through to the Do Zone class, it was not enough to allow him to roam the middle region without fear. Any one of the top-tier factions in this place has some old demon present within it. He was in possession of many treasures. If someone ended up getting jealous and wishing to forcefully snatch them, it was likely that he would face continuous trouble if he did not have some strength to act as a deterrence. An elite Dozun would naturally provide the most deterrence. If he had an elite Dozun guarding beside him all the time, he would be able to straighten his back when he did anything in the middle region. Hence, he needed to try his best to bring forward the matter of helping Qian Huazunja refine a physical body. However, if one were to think about it, refining a physical body was also not a simple matter. According to what Yao Lao had told him back then, it would require 3 items. The first was a bone-growing blood-fusing pill, the second was the essence blood of a Tier 7 magical beast, and the third was the skeleton of a dozong. The last 2 among these 3 items were not too difficult to find in the eyes of the current Xiao Yang. However, that so-called bone-growing blood-fusing pill was not an ordinary item. The bone-growing blood-fusing pill was a Tier 7 peak-grade medicinal pill. It was rumored that it was a pill that could save anyone who had a breath remaining. If one were to compare it, this medicinal pill was of a higher grade than the fire bodhisattva pill Tang Zhen wanted to refine. By looking at it from this point of view, it would not be overboard to place this bone-growing blood-fusing pill into the 8th tier. Some of its mysterious and unique effects allowed it to possess the qualifications to step into that tier. Although Xiao Yang had reached the level of a Tier 7 alchemist, he was not confident he could refine this bone-growing blood-fusing pill. Of course, forget about him, even some old renowned alchemist grandmasters, who had remained at the 7th tier for a long time, had a low chance of success when refining a medicinal pill like the bone-growing blood-fusing pill. 2 hours later, Xiao Yang finally opened his tightly shut eyes. He clenched his hand and a pale green scroll appeared in it. Yin-Yang Life Soul Pill. A Tier 7 middle-grade medicinal pill. It possesses the mysterious effect of fusing a soul and returning life. The refining ingredients are the Soul Revival Demon Fruit, Life Soul Ghost Face Flower. This so-called Yin-Yang Life Soul Pill possessed an effect that was similar to the bone-growing blood-fusing pill. Moreover, it was only a middle-grade Tier 7 pill, something Xiao Yang could coincidentally refine. It was quite a good choice to replace the bone-growing blood-fusing pill. The medicinal ingredients needed to be refined are a little troublesome. Moreover, there are some extremely rare, precious medicinal ingredients among them. However, it should not be too difficult to find them in this middle region. A middle-grade Tier 7 is something within my acceptable range. I can guarantee the success rate of its refinement. The only flaw is that this pill is not as perfect as the bone-growing blood-fusing pill. However, overall, it can be considered not bad. The imperfections in the medicinal pill can be made up in terms of the skeleton and essence blood. Xiao Yang absorbed the information of the medicinal formula into his mind. He mused for a moment before he softly spoke. Yes, I will leave this matter up to you. Everything is fine as long as I am able to possess my own body. I have already had enough of being in such a state. Qian Huazunja spoke without any objections. You can rest assured that I will find the medicinal ingredients to refine the Yin-Yang Life Soul Pill as quickly as possible, and I will begin to refine the pill upon having gathered all of them. I will definitely allow you to possess your own body within the shortest amount of time. Xiao Yang nodded and spoke with a smile. Qian Huazunja also grinned when he heard this. He said, if you have the time, you should practice the 5-ring flame expelling technique that I have imparted on you. The might of it when you can form the 5-ring flame expelling formation will definitely not disappoint you. Old Mr. Yao, please relax. The 5-ring flame expelling technique is your greatest skill. The old me will naturally not abandon it so easily. Xiao Yang's heart became a little boiling hot when he thought of the skill's might at the peak level. He softly laughed in his heart when he did so. The old me has not lied to you. Back then, this 5-ring flame expelling technique shook the entire continent. Unfortunately, the current Do Chi continent seems to be unaware of my old name. Tine Huazunja's tone contained some pride. Clearly, he was also quite a famous person in this Do Chi continent back then. Xiao Yang slightly smiled. Any expert who could become a Dozun were all renowned individuals. Hence, Xiao Yang did not doubt Qian Huazunja's words. After chatting for a while with Qian Huazunja within his heart, Xiao Yang leaped off the bed and moved his body a little. After which, he walked out of the room. Since he had already helped Tang Zhen refine the fire bodhisattva pill, it should be time to settle the matter of the Skyfire 3 mysterious change. Have you woken up? A clear, lovely voice suddenly sounded while Xiao Yang's eyes were sweeping around. He looked over, only to see a red-clothed lady sitting within the garden. She had a long upper body. Looking at her from the side, her body appeared to reveal an alluring figure that extended from her neck to her hip. Xiao Yang had seen this lady before and knew she possessed a high status within the Burning Flame Valley. Immediately, he smiled and nodded to her. The red-clothed lady stood up. Her tall figure was beautifully accentuated before she swiftly walked to Xiao Yang. After which, she revealed a bright smile. My name is Tang Hua. Thank you very much for your help this time around. As the both of them were standing close to each other, Xiao Yang was able to sniff the faint, serene fragrance that was being emitted from the body of the lady in front of him. He raised his eyes and was coincidentally able to see some redness within Tang Hua's pretty face. Xiao Yang had run into quite a number of beauties during these years. This Tang Hua's appearance might not be comparable to the bewitching looks of Cai Lin, but she possessed a demeanor that belonged only to her. She appeared graceful and valiant, possessing an alternative charm. Xiao Yang observed Tang Hua as he revealed a smile on his face. He cupped his hands together and said, "Greetings to Miss Tang." Tang Hua covered her mouth and laughed when she saw Xiao Yang become a little embarrassed. She turned her body and led the way in front. She talked to him as she walked, "No matter what you think, I will naturally not be able to say much now that father has promised you. However, I shall remind you that it is not an easy matter to obtain the Skyfire 3 mysterious change. Even if father has given you a chance, it will be extremely difficult for you to obtain the Skyfire 3 mysterious change if you do not possess some ability." Xiao Yang quietly tilted his head in acknowledgement. The Skyfire 3 mysterious change was a carefully guarded secret technique of the Burning Flame Valley. It would be unusually difficult for him to obtain it. Nevertheless, he had already come to this place. Why would he end up giving it up? Xiao Yang followed Tang Hua out of the courtyard and walked through the interior of the valley. They met quite a number of Burning Flame Valley's disciples. These disciples hurriedly bowed and said greetings the moment they saw Tang Hua. She not only possessed a special status within the Burning Flame Valley, she also possessed outstanding training talent, enough to get the admiration of everyone within the valley. Xiao Yang, who was beside Tang Hua, also attracted quite a great amount of attention as a result. The disciples within the Burning Flame Valley were familiar with this young alchemist grandmaster, who had aided the valley chief in refining a pill. During these couple of days that Xiao Yang had been unconscious, talk about him had become hottest topic among the many disciples within the Burning Flame Valley. Xiao Yang followed Tang Hua for over 10 minutes in front of the many eyes. Only then did they stop outside a large hall with a magnificent aura. The Skyfire 3 mysterious change is the top secret technique of the Burning Flame Valley. According to the rules of the valley, it cannot be taught to an outsider. Although father is the valley chief, he alone cannot make the decision over such matters. After all, the interior of the Burning Flame Valley still has an elders' council. Those pedantic old fellows are not so easy to deal with. Tang Hua softly explained after stopping outside of the large hall. Xiao Yang slightly nodded upon hearing this. It seemed that this attempt would not be a simple one, however. You can rest assured that father will definitely put in a word for you since he promised you. He is the valley chief. Even the elders' council cannot easily refute his words, Tang Hua quickly added, appearing afraid that Xiao Yang would have other thoughts. Xiao Yang smiled and nodded. He replied, with valley chief Tang's status and position, it is naturally impossible for him to deceive an unknown little person like me. Young friend Yang Xiao, what's your recovery like? Tang Zhen's eyes swept over Xiao Yang. The smile on his face also increased as he inquired, Valley Chief Tang, thank you for your concern. I'm fine. Xiao Yang grinned and replied, you are that Yang Xiao who wants the Skyfire 3 mysterious flame of my Burning Flame Valley, right? An indifferent, old voice suddenly sounded. Xiao Yang's eyes glanced over and saw that it belonged to a white-haired, old man seated beside Tang Zhen. Xiao Yang slowly nodded in the face of the old man's question. The old me is the third elder of the Burning Flame Valley, Wu Chen. This time around, you have helped the valley chief refine the fire bodhisattva pill. The old me shall represent the Burning Flame Valley and thank you here. Wu Chen's expression was indifferent. These words had just sounded when he continued, however, the Skyfire 3 mysterious flame is a secret that my Burning Flame Valley will not pass to an outsider according to the rules of the Burning Flame Valley. May I inquire if you will change your condition as expected? Xiao Yan coldly laughed in his heart. He knew that this matter would not proceed smoothly. Third Elder, the old me has promised young friend Xiao Yang. Are you trying to get me to eat my words by saying this now? Tang Zhen's face sank as he questioned while sitting in the leader's seat. The third elder involuntarily became a little dull when he heard Tang Zhen's words before replying, although Valley Chief has promised him, according to the rules are dead while people are alive. The old me is the Valley Chief. Don't tell me that I do not even possess this bit of authority. Tang Zhen faintly spoke, Valley Chief, please do not be angered. Third elder is only saying such words because of the rules of the valley. After all, the Skyfire 3 mysterious change is not an ordinary secret technique. It is likely that even the first elder would think twice about handing it to an outsider if he was here. No. An elder on the side, who had yet to speak, slowly opened his mouth. He suddenly glanced at Xiao Yang below when he spoke until this point and continued, moreover this young friend, who is called Yang Xiao, has ultimately not revealed his true face. Don't tell me that the Valley Chief wishes to hand the Skyfire 3 mysterious change to a person whose background is unknown. Tang Zhen was also startled in the face of these words. He immediately frowned. With his eyesight, he had naturally seen through Xiao Yang's attempt to purposefully hide his appearance. However, he did not expose Xiao Yang. Second elder has overestimated the young me. It is natural to have another layer of protection when roaming around. Hence, I have hid my appearance. Since second elder does not like it, I will remove it. Xiao Yang slightly smiled. His hand rubbed over his face, revealing his actual appearance. Everyone present, including Tang Zhen, was startled when they saw the even younger Xiao Yang after he had recovered his original appearance. That second elder stared intently at Xiao Yang. His eyes narrowed. A moment later he suddenly and faintly said, earlier, the old me coincidentally made a trip to the northern region of the Central Plains. Xiao Yang slightly knit his brows when he heard these words. That young man is called Xiao Yang, second elder spoke with a soft laugh. Immediately, he looked at Xiao Yang with deeper meaning in his eyes. He continued, the old me is thinking that Xiao Yang and Yang Xiao should be one and the same, right? The Wind Lightning Pavilion might not be comparable to the Burning Flame Valley in terms of strength, but it was definitely considered a powerful faction of significant weight in the Central Plains region. Yet, this Xiao Yang was able to leave peacefully after forming a grudge with it. From this, one could tell that this person was definitely not simple. Tang Hua's pretty eyes stared at Xiao Yang. The itchiness on her hands suddenly became much more intense. She had never met an opponent of similar age who was on par with her. Xiao Yang's expression did not change in the face of the many surprised gazes in the hall. He glanced at the red-robed old man and faintly said, I am indeed Xiao Yang, but what has this got to do with anything? All I did was simply change my name. The red-robed old man, who was also the second elder of the Burning Flame Valley, smiled when he heard this. He said, your enmity with the Wind Lightning Pavilion is because you possess the Wind Lightning Pavilion's 3000 lightning movement. This has ended up causing them to chase you with killing intent. You are not a disciple of the Wind Lightning Pavilion. Where have you obtained the 3000 lightning movement? Moreover, you currently want to obtain the Skyfire 3 mysterious change of my Burning Flame Valley. Don't tell me that you have an interest in other people's Do techniques. Xiao Yang's expression was calm as he replied, the 3000 lightning movement is something that I obtained by chance. There is no need for me to account to second elder regarding this. As for the Skyfire 3 mysterious flame, I am in possession of a heavenly flame, and will be able to unleash the might of the Skyfire 3 mysterious change to its peak. This is the reason for me to come to the Burning Flame Valley. Whether I am interested in other people's Do techniques is not something that second elder can manage. Xiao Yang's words were blunt. Hence, the second elder's expression slightly deflated. Xiao Yang, this place is not the Wind Lightning Pavilion. It will not allow you to act in such a presumptuous manner. The third elder of the Burning Flame Valley, Wu Chen, frowned and coldly reprimanded. According to the rules of the valley, the core disciples can obtain the Skyfire 3 mysterious change after passing through the test. Hence, if Xiao Yang is able to pass it, there will no longer be any objections from the others. Anyone who disobeys will be punished according to the valley rules. Tang Zhen's voice contained a sternness at the end. The second and third elders exchanged looks with one another after hearing these words of Tang Zhen. Their expressions slightly changed. After hesitating for a moment, the second elder finally clenched his teeth and said, "The matter of the core disciples test has always been designed by the Elders' Council. May I know if the topic of this test will be decided by the Elders' Council?" This pedantic old fellow seemed to be really unwilling to allow the Skyfire 3 mysterious change to land in the hands of Xiao Yang, who was an outsider. Hence, he was thinking of all means to hinder Xiao Yang. Tang Zhen's face slightly sank. He immediately replied, "If second elder has such an intention, please tell us about the test topic." Second elder's heart rejoiced when he saw Tang Zhen being a little less stubborn. He opened his mouth and said, "This matter has serious implications and cannot be done casually. Therefore, the old me shall personally be the tester. If Xiao Yang is able to last 10 exchanges in the hands of the old me, the matter of the Skyfire 3 mysterious change shall be decided by Valley Chief." The large hall was immediately a little quiet after these words sounded. The many elders below looked at each other and involuntarily let out bitter laughs. They were extremely clear about the strength of second elder. The peak of the Do Zone class. He was at a frightening level, only one step away from advancing to the Do Zun class. If he was to be the tester, it would appear as though they were bullies. Tang Hua's eyebrows were bunched up a little. Some fury also flashed through her pretty eyes. This old fellow was clearly making it difficult for others. The peak of the Do Zone class was a level in which even she would have great difficulty lasting for 10 exchanges. To think that second elder is able to say such words, Tang Zhen faintly laughed. His voice contained a little mockery. This caused the expression of the second elder to become a little unnatural. He had only voiced such a test because he did not wish to hand the Skyfire 3 mysterious change to an outsider, Valley Chief Tang. Since second elder insists on letting Elder Wu Chen be the examiner, we will do as he says. Xiao Yang, who was standing in the large hall, finally opened his mouth to speak when Tang Zhen was about to open his mouth and reprimand them. Tang Zhen, Tang Hua, and the others were startled when they heard Xiao Yang's words. Xiao Yang, Elder Wu Chen's strength, is that of a genuine 8-star Do Zone. He is even stronger than Fei Qian from the Wind Lightning Northern Pavilion. Are you certain you wish to let him be the tester? Tang Zhen's tightly knit his brows. His eyes bore into Xiao Yang as he spoke with a deep voice. There was a tone of reminder in his words. Xiao Yang slowly nodded. His eyes swept toward the third elder, who was also a little startled by his words. Xiao Yang knew that if he did not do as these two old fellows wanted today, it was likely that he would not be able to smoothly take the Skyfire 3 mysterious change from the Burning Flame Valley. Since this was the case, he would do as they wanted and test this third elder's strength. Although the strength of this Wu Chen was not weaker than Fei Qian, the current Xiao Yang had already stepped into the Do Zone class. His strength was many times stronger than when he had been chased by Fei Qian back then. It should not be as unbelievable as what an ordinary person imagined to last for 10 exchanges in Wu Chen's hands. Moreover, if he was really pushed to the limit, he would also get this old fellow to suffer a little today. Tang Zhen frowned even more tightly when he saw Xiao Yang nodding his head. He glanced at the two rejoicing elders beside him and helplessly nodded. He said, "Since you have made this choice, the old me does not have any other method. You only have one chance. If you fail to pass the test, it is likely that the Skyfire 3 mysterious change does not possess any affinity with you. Therefore, I hope that you have your own plans." Xiao Yang grinned and nodded. He was not a reckless person. Since he had agreed to this test, he naturally possessed some confidence. An 8-star Do Zone might be strong, but Xiao Yang was also not a simple person. He might not dare to say that he could defeat the other party, but when it came to enduring for only 10 exchanges, it was likely that these old fellows had underestimated him. Valley Chief, please rest assured that the old me is aware that he has done a favor to the Burning Flame Valley. Therefore, I will not hurt him. If the Skyfire 3 mysterious change was not a top-tier secret technique of the Burning Flame Valley, the old me would not have intervened. Therefore, I hope that Valley Chief will forgive me. Third elder slowly stood up, turned his head to Tang Zhen, and requested his forgiveness. Tang Zhen glanced at him before uttering 3 words from his mouth, pedantic and stubborn. Xiao Yang ignored the surroundings that had swiftly become lively. His gaze merely stared at a red-robed elder across from him. This person was Wu Chen. At this moment, Wu Chen's hands were placed behind him. His old face contained a faint smile. The gap between his strength and that of Xiao Yang was like that of the heaven and earth. Although he had heard some rumors related to Xiao Yang, this did not cause him to be overly worried. In front of absolute strength, trickery and unorthodox tactics would be completely useless. Tang Zhen, who was on the stairs, frowned as he glanced at Wu Chen. After which, his eyes helplessly turned to Xiao Yang as he asked, "Are you really certain?" Xiao Yang smiled and nodded to Tang Zhen in the face of these words. Wu Chen was indeed very stronger. However, from the current Xiao Yang's perspective, Wu Chen was not as thorough as those prehistoric wild beasts that were unmatched. He had the confidence to last for 10 exchanges. What a stubborn fellow. Tang Zhen could only sigh when he saw Xiao Yang nod. The smile on Wu Chen's face increased when he saw that Xiao Yang did not change his mind midway through. He looked at Xiao Yang and spoke with a faint smile. "There is no need to say anything else. If you can last for 10 exchanges in the hands of the old me, it will be considered your victory. The Skyfire 3 mysterious change will also belong to you. However, if you fail to endure, it will only mean that you do not have any affinity with the Skyfire 3 mysterious change. However, you will still be allowed to choose one of the other high-class Qi methods, or Do skills from the Burning Flame Valley." Some of the disciples from the Burning Flame Valley immediately burst into an uproar when they heard Wu Chen's words. Numerous disbelieving eyes looked to Xiao Yang. Although quite a number of people were aware of Xiao Yang's alchemist skill, being a brilliant alchemist did not mean that one was strong. Wu Chen was the third elder of the Burning Flame Valley. There was hardly anyone whose strength was greater than his, yet this young man, who looked to be of similar age as them, was actually thinking of fighting him. There is no need for Elder Wu's reminder. "If I fail to endure, the little me will immediately leave, and will not have extravagant hopes about other Qi methods, or Do skills." Xiao Yang spoke in an indifferent manner. He did not really like this old fellow. Wu Chen let out a loud laugh when he heard this. Under the influence of the majestic Do Qi, the laughter sounded just like thunder as it resonated over the sky. Wu Chen took a step forward and his body instantly disappeared. In the eyes of an ordinary Burning Flame Valley disciple, Wu Chen appeared to have disappeared in a strange manner. However, in the eyes of Xiao Yang and those with similar or greater strength, it was possible for them to vaguely see a red figure creating a deafening sonic boom as it suddenly arrived. Xiao Yang narrowed his eyes. A silver glow swiftly surged under his feet, and his body immediately shook. Boom. A fiery red fist appeared in a strange fashion and heavily smashed into Xiao Yang's chest. Immediately, it carried a low, deep sound as it penetrated his chest after image. This should be the 3000 lightning movement from the Wind Lightning Pavilion, right? It is unique. Wu Chen's face did not show the slightest change after his punch proved futile. He let out a cold smile and shattered the afterimage. Flames lingered over both of his hands and these hands gradually became a little larger in the process. Looking from a distance, it appeared just like a pair of war hammers. Xiao Yang flashed and appeared around a couple of dozens of meters to the left of Wu Chen. He lowered his head and glanced at his slightly charred, black clothes. A solemnness also flashed across his eyes. Wu Chen was indeed worthy of being the third elder of the Burning Flame Valley. This strength was indeed quite shocking. However, after the earlier attack, Xiao Yang was able to vaguely estimate Wu Chen's speed. It seemed to be inferior to Fei Tian. However, the strength of his attack was much mightier than Fei Tian's attacks. If Xiao Yang was struck by an attack of such a level, he would immediately lose his combat strength. Xiao Yang's body had just appeared when a caution flashed across his heart. He strode to his left in a lightning-like manner. Kai. Xiao Yang's body had just moved when a fiery red, large hand suddenly brushed past the clothes near Xiao Yang's abdomen. The hot Do Qi contained in the flame caused Xiao Yang's skin to feel a slight pain. Pure young cotton hand. Before Xiao Yang could swiftly pull back, after narrowly dodging this large hand, a low cry suddenly sounded. Immediately, he saw the fiery red hand strangely extend by half its size. The wrist turned and slammed into Xiao Yang's waist. This fellow really did not get his reputation in the northern region from nothing. Looks like the old me also needs to be a little more serious. Wu Chen's face gradually turned solemn as this thought flashed through his heart. His fiery red, large hand was also became brighter. At the same time, a flame-like Do Qi slowly surged from under both his feet. The old me also wishes to experience the Wind Lightning Pavilion's 3000 lightning movement. I want to see if my Burning Flame Valley's sky-shattering stone steps are stronger, or if their 3000 lightning movement is better. Wu Chen laughed. His right foot, covered in flames, suddenly stomped on the ground. Bang! A muffled sound appeared. The tough rock under Wu Chen's foot cracked apart. His body emitted a kai sound as it strangely disappeared. The solemnness on Xiao Yang's face became denser the instant Wu Chen disappeared. A moment later, all the pores on his body opened wide. The 3000 lightning movement was unleashed by him to its limit as a reflexive action, and an afterimage appeared. The fire-red human figure carried a low, deep sonic boom, as it ruthlessly collided with the afterimage like a human-shaped tank. The afterimage instantly collapsed. The fiery red human figure immediately stabilized his body after having missed. A sonic boom erupted in front of him and a crack appeared on the ground. Without waiting for this sonic boom to spread, the fiery red human figure once again violently stomped on the ground. His body was just like a rocket that rose into the air. In an instant, he had appeared in front of Xiao Yang. What swift speed! Xiao Yang's expression changed as he glanced at the red figure, which approached in a flash. The Do skill which Wu Chen had displayed might not be as agile and flexible as the 3000 lightning movement, but its forward momentum and destructive strength were exceedingly terrifying. A heavy ruler appeared in Xiao Yang's hands while the veins in his arms pounded. He let out a cold cry in his heart. 6-joint body flowing ruler, 6-joint flame. The first move that Xiao Yang used was the strongest move of the 6-joint body flowing ruler. He did not hold anything back, because Xiao Yang was clearly aware that a fight with an 8-star Do zone was one that was extremely arduous. 5 exchanges has passed. On the stairs, Tang Jun exhaled a gentle breath as he slowly announced. At this moment, his eyes also contained a faint surprise when they looked at Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang being able to last for 5 exchanges in Wu Chen's hands without falling had caused him to feel a little surprise. After all, he understood Wu Chen quite well. An 8-star Do zone was definitely considered a top-tier expert across the Central Plains region. Tang Hua by the side also gently nodded. Her eyes contained a curious glint as they stared at Xiao Yang. This young man, who was of similar age to her, seemed to always surprise others. Wu Chen's body also gently drifted down from the sky. His foot violently stomped on the ground as a majestic force surged out. Immediately, the hard stone floor under his foot shattered into a cluster of powder. After gently waving his sleeves, Wu Chen narrowed his eyes, and he looked at Xiao Yang a short distance away. He commented in a faint voice, "It is not a bad Do skill, and it is very strong. However, the gap between our strengths is too large. It is likely that even I would not dare to easily receive this strike." Xiao Yang's heart let out a cold laugh in the face of Wu Chen's words. The solemnness on his face became denser. Regardless of how much he disliked Wu Chen, he was an 8-star Do zone. If Xiao Yang did not seriously threaten him, it was likely that he would have difficulty enduring for 10 exchanges. Moreover, he was unable to use the Skyfire 3 mysterious change in this place. Otherwise, it might end up being something that Wu Chen and the others could use against him. At that time, it was likely that whatever he said would be useless. This old fellow's sky-shattering stone steps has an extremely fierce explosive force. However, it is fortunately not as agile as the 3000 lightning movement. There are still 5 exchanges left. It looks like I must go all out. Xiao Yang's expression became more solemn. A majestic, jade-green Do Qi filled his entire body. This Do Qi was like a flame as it wrapped around him. Wave after wave of dense heat was repeatedly emitted from the Do Qi. However, if you only possess these skills, it is likely that you will not be able to endure the remaining 5 exchanges. Wu Chen smiled. A gloating expression that was difficult to hide was present in his eyes. He clenched both of his hands and a fire light lingered over it. His war hammer-like large hands were clenched and the surrounding space formed a slight distortion. Wu Chen's voice had just sounded when his feet once again violently stormed forward. The stone floor under his feet blasted apart. His body emitted a swoosh sound and a deep sonic boom. In the blink of an eye, he appeared in front of Xiao Yang, who was 100 meters away. The red figure flashed within the dark black eyes of Xiao Yang. His face changed slightly, and the 3000 lightning movement was used in reflex. His body also hurriedly withdrew a couple of steps in the process. This time around, I shall completely end this. Wu Chen's eyes calmly watched Xiao Yang as he swiftly pulled back. Wu Chen's foot was once again lifted before it suddenly descended. Xiao Yang's swiftly withdrawing figure suddenly came to a halt when Wu Chen's foot had just landed. His foot also violently stomped on the ground. The powerful strength shattered the hard stone floor into powder. He swung his sleeves and the powder formed dust as it spread apart, causing one's sight to become extremely blur. The dust that spread apart did not cause Wu Chen to pause. He coldly let out a simple trick laugh, before his body let out a swish sound as it rushed forward. Wu Chen's figure was rushing forward, and was just about to charge into the permeating dust, when a figure sprang out from within it. After which, a silver glow flickered and it hurriedly fled. You wish to escape. Although that figure was extremely fast, it was still immediately discovered by Wu Chen. After a moment of surprise, a cold laugh was emitted. Wu Chen's body suddenly turned and appeared in front of the figure within a breath's time. After which, the large hand that contained a fiery light viciously slammed into Xiao Yan's back. This palm was firmly slammed into the figure. Its vast and mighty force sent Xiao Yan flying. Immediately, that figure fell onto the ground 100 meters away amid numerous cries of surprise. The hard ground cracked apart, and numerous arm-thick cracks appeared. Quite a number of Burning Flame Valley elders had a slight change in their expressions as they stood on the stairs. Tang Hua covered her small mouth. She did not expect Xiao Yang to reveal such a large opening to Wu Chen. At this moment, the dust had gradually become thinner. A vague figure slowly walked out of it. Immediately, that familiar face that wore a smile appeared in front of everyone's eyes. Spiritual avatar. Wu Chen's expression gradually turned gloomy. A moment later, he finally spat out 2 words from between his teeth. Xiao Yang involuntarily smiled when he saw Wu Chen's gloomy face. This old fellow had been tricked by him. That old man had caught the spiritual avatar, and had such fun beating it up. Tang Zhen slowly nodded on the stairs. His eyes contained some admiration. Xiao Yang was able to use this tactic to divert Wu Chen away. If that spiritual avatar was a little stronger, it was likely that Xiao Yang would have been able to muddle through these 10 exchanges. Tang Hua by the side also sighed in relief. She immediately curled her mouth and laughed. This Xiao Yang is really cunning. Wu Chen was looking at the smiling Xiao Yang with a gloomy expression within the battleground. A moment later, he inhaled a deep breath of air and said, "The old me has indeed underestimated you. However, you need not be so happy. There is still one last exchange. This time around, the old me will definitely not hold back." A ruthless expression flashed across Wu Chen's eyes when his words sounded. Clearly, he had lost a great amount of face from having come close to a loss by Xiao Yang's hands this time around. The bright red glow was just like a flame at this moment, as it repeatedly surged out of Wu Chen's body. In the end, even his white hair turned into a fiery red color. Looking from a distance, he appeared just like a fire god descending. He was filled with a frightening might. The expressions of Tang Zhen and the others on the stairs slightly changed when they saw this aura. All of them were aware that this time was going to be the start of a serious fight. However, it was really a little too much of a bully's move to use such a powerful do skill against someone from the younger generation. This old fellow is really becoming shameless these days. Tang Zhen slowly said. The anger within his voice was something that everyone present was aware of. This valley chief of the Burning Flame Valley was indeed furious this time around. The second elder by the side opened his mouth, but could only shut it again in the face of the frightening pressure that spread around Tang Zhen. He too did not expect Wu Chen would be forced by Xiao Yang to act like this, dominating fire demon palm. The enormous hand was covered by a glaring red glow. After which, it was accompanied by a frightening momentum as it smashed furiously toward Xiao Yang below. Xiao Yang raised his head. He looked at the fiery red color that filled his eyes. A cold smile also slowly rose on his face. He raised his hand and his sleeves fell. After which the beautiful, 3-colored fire lotus appeared in front of everyone's eyes. Tang Zhen's expression instantly changed the moment the 3-colored fire lotus appeared. The 3-colored fire lotus rotated over Xiao Yang's palm. Each time it rotated, the surrounding space would form numerous dark black spatial lines that caused one's heart to feel a chill. The appearance of the fire lotus allowed everyone to clearly sense the natural energy suddenly become fierce and untamed. Moreover, the temperature was also swiftly rising. This unusual phenomenon resulted in the expressions of everyone changing. Even Tang Zhen revealed a shocked expression in his eyes. That strange 3-colored fire lotus seemed to hide a terrifying destructive power. Moreover, this kind of strength was something that he felt somewhat familiar with. This is the heavenly flame's strength. Tang Zhen's eyes shrank as he thought within his heart. Among those who experienced a change in their expressions, because of the appearance of the fire lotus included the person involved in the battle, Wu Chen. Due to his close proximity, he was the one who had the deepest understanding of the destructive strength contained within the fire lotus. In the face of the exquisite, three-colored fire lotus, the third elder of the burning flame valley finally revealed a look of disbelief for the first time. He would have never imagined that Xiao Yan, a one-star dozong, would be able to unleash this frightening strength, even he was terrified of, even if he had broken his head in the process. How is this possible? A glow swiftly flashed across Wu Chen's eyes. A moment later, he suddenly clenched his teeth and a ruthless expression appeared in his eyes. Although Xiao Yang's fire lotus was frightening, his dominating fire demon palm was also not ordinary. No one knew just who would be defeated in the other party's hands. Wu Chen, this old demon, who had become experienced with age, was not only not shaken by the fire lotus, but had instead formed a greater fighting intent at this moment. This was because he clearly understood that he might still win if he advanced, but if he were to withdraw, he would definitely lose. Regardless of whether the 10 exchanges had reached, any carelessness on his part would result in him becoming extremely miserable because of this beautiful, three-colored fire lotus. The ruthlessness in Wu Chen's eyes became even more intense while this thought flashed through his heart. The majestic Do Qi in his body whizzed as the red glow surged on his enormous hand. There was a vague mysterious fire-red seal that was vaguely present on his palm. A glaring glow caused quite a number of people around him to hurriedly shut their eyes, dominating fire demon palm, fire demon encasing world. The aura within Wu Chen's body surged with a loud cry. His hand swelled in a lightning-like manner. In an instant, it had swelled to 10 feet in size. Looking from a distance, he appeared just like a lamp that was emitting a strong glow. After this cry sounded, the mysterious red seal in Wu Chen's palm also swelled. The wild, violent energy contained within it also increased. Wu Chen's attacks were all extremely heavy-handed during these couple of exchanges. If Xiao Yang did not possess any skill, it was likely that his fate would not have been good. This was the ultimate reason why Xiao Yang had hardened his heart and used the three-colored fire lotus. Since you do not wish to allow me to have an easy time, I shall make you pay the price for it. A vicious expression flashed across Xiao Yang's dark black eyes. His hands were suddenly swung and the three-colored, exquisite fire lotus suddenly shot out. Wu Chen let out a furious roar the moment the fire lotus shot out, dominating fire demon seal. The roar had just sounded when the mysterious fire-red seal glow immediately surged. The symbol fell from Wu Chen's hand at that instant before transforming into a shocking glow. Even space shook, because of its frightening strength, as it rushed down in a lightning-like manner. The glow and the three-colored lotus floated closer together. In a mere instant, the two collided between Wu Chen and Xiao Yang like meteorites. They contained a terrifying strength in front of a countless number of gazes. The entire place was quiet when the two collided. An innumerable number of expressions on everyone's faces seemed to have stilled at this moment. This kind of unusual silence lasted for only a breath's time. After which, an energy storm that frightened even an elite dozong instantly brewed at the spot where the two collided. All the elders of the burning flame valley in front of the large hall, including the second elder, inhaled a deep breath of cold air. They could sense that if they were to be dragged into the frightening energy storm in the sky, it was likely that they would at least suffer serious injuries even if they did not die. Tang Zhen's face was stern. No one had expected things to turn into this state. This was merely just a test, but the things that were created seemed as though one was attempting to destroy the entire burning flame valley. If I do not take care of this mess, it is likely that the burning flame valley will be turned into chaos by this thing. Tang Zhen could only slowly sigh after being quiet for a moment. He glanced at the second elder beside him. The second elder quivered because of Tang Zhen's glance. His face was immediately covered with a bitter smile. He knew that the matter today had completely angered Tang Zhen. However, being an elder, he needed to step forward and take care of these matters. After all, the Skyfire 3 mysterious change was not an ordinary thing. Tang Zhen ignored the bitter smile on the second elder's face. His foot slowly stepped forward. The space became distorted and his body appeared to have instantly teleported in front of the enormous energy storm in the sky. His finger gently cut through the empty space in front of him and an enormous spatial line appeared. After which, his hands were inserted into the spatial line before suddenly pulling it apart. This Xiao Yang is indeed not an ordinary person. He is able to get the heavenly flame to unleash such might. My burning flame valley has controlled the 9-dragon lightning flame for many years, but we are unable to reach such a stage. This boy is really extraordinary. Tang Zhen sighed quietly in his heart. He involuntarily cherished such talent. However, on second thought, Xiao Yang likely already possessed a teacher in order for him to reach such a level. Immediately, disappointment flashed through his eyes. Tang Zhen's eyes swept under him as he stood in the sky. After which, they paused on the spot where Xiao Yang and Wu Chen had landed. At this moment, the both of them struggled for a moment before climbing to their feet with much difficulty. They looked at each other from a distance. There was some provocation in their gazes. The 10 exchanges are over. Wu Chen, you have lost. Tang Zhen slowly descended from the sky and spoke in a faint voice. The miserable-looking Wu Chen was startled when he heard Tang Zhen's voice. Immediately, he grit his teeth unwillingly. He did not expect that he would lose to a younger generation, a result that was completely unexpected. Although he was not satisfied, his heart involuntarily formed a chill when he recalled the frightening energy storm from earlier. If he had been swept into it, it was likely that he would, at the very least, end up seriously injured. Tang Zhen's eyes slid to Xiao Yang. He smiled slightly and his voice had become a little friendlier. Since Wu Chen has already lost, according to the rules, the Skyfire 3 mysterious change should belong to you. Congratulations. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.